The season starts if evolved interior educate a person named Reese sits quietly on his seat unexpectedly a collection of thugs walks in and begins if evolved bothering him you need to look a actual gun. They mistake him for a few innocent Avenue man and start to behave competitive however inside moments Ray steps in with calm self-assurance and lightning rapid movements he's taking all of them down one after the other in only minutes he throws them to the floor and leaves them helpless after the thugs are arrested and brought to the police station. Detective Carter watches the safety pictures of Ray combating them as she sees his speedy and particular movements. She's honestly bowled over. There is something approximately the manner he fights due to the fact it is now no longer everyday, it is sharp, tactical and expert. She walks into the interrogation room curious and careful. She starts evolved thinking Ray suspecting that he need to have a historical past in unique forces or if you elite unit his fight talents are simply too delicate for a normal man or woman. Then she asks him for his call. Ray with a peaceful however guarded expression replies that it looks like she's asking due to the fact he is in problem simply. Then a person indicates up on the station he is there to get Reese launched. Inside moments he pulls a few strings and receives Reese out taking walks him proper out of the police station leaving Carter with extra questions than answers. As Reese steps out of the station he thank you the person who helped him his brief counselor with a at a loss for words look. Ray asks him why he did all this in any case they do not even recognize every different. The person absolutely replies that a person desires to speak to him without explaining a great deal. He leads Ray a long way far from the metropolis noise to a quiet spot close to a river and there, awaiting him is a person named Mr. Finch. Mr. Finch lightly tells Ray that he is aware of the whole thing approximately him however Reese would not accept as true with him. He stares lower back and says Finch would not recognize him in any respect that is whilst Finch begins evolved reminding him of his beyond that how Ray as soon as labored for the authorities how he changed into a part of risky covert missions. He talks approximately the matters that in the end broke him. He reminds Ray of the way after a while the equal authorities started the usage of him like a weapon till Ray subsequently walked away. Finch well known shows the maximum surprising component the authorities believes Ray is useless. Rez is shocked he wasn't awaiting everyone to recognize a lot not to mention a whole stranger. Then Finch receives to the factor he tells Ray he has a task for him one that would simply storm his lifestyles. Finch takes Ray to New York City a rapid transfer in crowded area status the various noise and strength of the metropolis. Finch tells him something chilling that each 18 hours a person dies in New York. Ray remains calm and responds that horrific matters show up to humans all of the time however Finch has a exceptional attitude. He explains that lots of those crimes don't simply show up out of nowhere, they are deliberate weeks or even months earlier, and if a person knew who the goal become earlier than the crime came about they may keep lifestyles. This is wherein Finch is available and those humans do not even realize what is coming for them. Maximum of them are simply everyday normal humans and all of them want assist. Then Finch factors towards a female shopping for espresso. Her call is Diane. Finch tells Ray that this female is on the pinnacle of his listing for the week. He explains that they do not know precisely what is going to show up to her or what position she performs with inside the coming occasion. She may be the sufferer or she may be the offender. Finch says the system does not provide a whole lot apart from only a social safety range. However, even this is sufficient to prevent something horrible if they act in time. This is where Ray is available and Finch desires him to observe Diane, take a look at her and discern out what is about to show up and prevent it. Ray seems over at Diane. He watches her from a distance for a second analyzing her, then with a moderate smirk he tells Finch that perhaps she's simply worried in a few sort of dating drama. Perhaps he's a jilted lover or perhaps Diane is his ex-spouse or Mr. lady friend. He shrugs and says he is performed due to the fact he is now no longer interested. Earlier than Finch can prevent him, Reese disappears. He slips beyond Finch's guards, results easily vanishing into the city. Like a shadow, returns to a lodge. He shaves, then lies at the mattress with a drink in hand, slowly drifting off to sleep. Later a noise wakes him up. As he reaches for his Telecel smartphone, he realizes one in all his palms is tied to the mattress. At the other, give up of the decision is Finch talking to him frivolously. Finch tells him he desires to recognize something. The information they get is probably incomplete, however it is in no way incorrect. Finch explains that we have to realize what it looks like to have the know-how that a person goes to die and nevertheless be not able to assist them. That helplessness is what Finch wants him to understand. Reese begins evolved getting irritated. Unexpectedly he hears a person out of doors. The door without ready, he breaks a mirror with assist of lamp and makes use of it to loose his hand. Performing rapid, he receives geared up as he opens the room door. Internal, there's a speaker gambling the recording with inside a different room. Finch is sitting quietly. He tells Ree that he is already 2 past due. The recording he simply heard is from 3 years in the past. In that very room a lady become murdered with the aid of using her husband for insurance cash. Finch explains that Ree become 2 past due to shop her, similar to he become 2 past due to shop his buddy Jessica. She died. Even as he become on the opposite aspect of the arena, not able to do whatever. Listening to Jessica's call shocks Ray. He grabs Finch and pushes him in opposition to the wall, anger growing in his eyes. He needs to understand how Finch is aware of approximately her. However, Finch remains calm. He tells Ree that he left the authorities due to the fact that they lied to him. However, Finch guarantees he's going to in no way deceive Ree. He says he believes Ree continually desired to shop humans, however the authorities used him for its personal desires. Ree ultimately weakened him. Pass Ree alternatives up the recording and realizes it is a twine faucet, which means Finch have to have ties to the authorities or the NSA. He questions Finch immediately. Finch replies flippantly. He says he isn't always a part of the authorities. Ree can consider him a worried 0.33 celebration. Then Finch says something greater. He admits that perhaps he could not shop that lady and Ree could not shop Jessica both. However, now they've a hazard to shop Diane. Finch is giving him the possibility to be there in time. Reese listens. Finch's phrases begin to get vile to him. Ultimately Finch indicates him a photograph of Diane and appears at Ree. He says the actual query to be able to he be capable of shop her. Then without looking ahead to an answer, Finch walks away. Finch indicates Ree his workplace, the location in which he operates, the entirety behind the curtain. After that each of them start monitoring Diane as they comply with her. Finch stalks information about Diane's beyond lifestyles. Reese breaks into her residence silently and effectively. He plugs a flash force into her PC and copies all of the documents. He additionally checks her medicinal drug prescriptions, accumulating as plenty records as he can. Later he heads to the courthouse in which Diane works as a prosecutor. There he hacks into her Telecel smartphone without being detected. Later on they display Diane's apartment via hidden cameras. Reese updates Finch and explains that given Diane's line of labor she ought to have many enemies. However, he's narrowed it down to 2 capacity threats. The primary is her co-counselor Wheeler, a person she had been seeing for the beyond few months. However, now she wishes him to reduce off from her lifestyles. The second one is a person named Pope. Diane visits Pope in jail. She sits throughout from him and asks him immediately approximately the reality she believes he might not have killed the human beings he is being charged for. She suspects his more youthful brother Michael is probably concerned. It appears to her that Pope is protective of a person else through taking the autumn. However, Pope warns her. He says the human beings concerned are extremely risky. If she continues digging, they may come for her. They may kill each of them. Diane does not backtrack. She says she's going to convey them to justice. She is aware of they may be nonetheless available. Taking walks unfastened, Pope loses his mood. He assaults her and tells her to live away. If she does not, he and Michael will each come to be useless. Reese meets Michael and attempts to invite him a few questions on Pope. However, Michael does not say something. He continues silent and fast walks away. Earlier than leaving, Reese secretly slips a cellular Telecel smartphone into Michael's bag. Through it he can music his area and concentrate to his environment a little. Whilst later a collection of fellows abducts Michael as they start to beat him. Ree arrives on the scene simply in time. Ree fast takes down the attacker enters and rescues him. However, then Reese notices something unusual, that the guys he simply fought are genuinely cops. The whole lot begins to evolve to make experience. Michael and Pope are looking to break out the police now, no longer due to the fact they may be responsible, however due to the fact the actual killers are in the pressure itself. The police dedicated the murders and framed Pope to call it up. Reese meets Finch and stalks what he is exposed. He believes the organization concerned are corrupt cops. Their chief is Stills, who works in narcotics. Re-explains that they thieve tablets, eliminate witnesses, after which biscuit the case directly to Detective Fusco. After that they plant fake proof and body human beings like Pope, getting them arrested to call their tracks whilst tracking Diane's condominium. Reese sees her acquire a name from Stills. He tells her to fulfill him. Rez follows her to the assembly as Stills pulls out his gun and fires at her. Diane unexpectedly lashes out at him. She yells at him angrily, and Reese realizes something essential, that Diane is now no longer simply concerned, she is the actual wrongdoer. She's been a part of the complete scheme. Diane tells Stills that their actual trouble is her counselor Wheeler. He is aware of an excessive amount of she warns that they may want to cope with Wheeler earlier than he turns into a risk. Tomorrow in courtroom docket, Diane prepares to play a 911 name recording as a part of the proof. However, as quickly as she hits play, something surprising takes place. Ree has already changed the recording in preference to unique audio. Diane's very own voice performs with inside the court docket. With inside the recording, she is truly threatening Wheeler, telling Stills to kill him. Her voice is bloodless, calculating. She warns that if he fails she'll deal with Stills, too similar to she had Pope killed in jail. Diane is shocked. Her face freezes in surprise because the court docket is going silent. After that, Ree confronts Detective Fusco and holds him at gunpoint. Fusco is likewise a corrupt cop and Ree is aware of it. Ree offers him a choice that both begin operating for him from the interior, or he will reveal the entirety, all of Fusco's secrets and techniques. Each grimy deal, each call up Fusco, and not using a different choice has the same opinion similar to that Ree profits get right of entry to the internal workings of the police branch. All of the case documents, statistics and private intel is now inside Attain. The following day Ree calls Finch and says he dealt with the two guys from Closing Nighttime who deliberate to kill a rich guy. Later they meet in person, and Finch stalks the following case, approximately shielding a 15-year antique woman named Teresa who became declared lifeless 2 years in the past. No matter that Finch believes she would possibly nevertheless be alive, so restarts evolved his seek digging into the incident from 2 years in the past. He begins evolved investigating the chain of activities that brought about the dying of Teresa's complete own circle of relatives in what regarded to be a tragic twist of fate. Ray listens to the information document from that point in it. Teresa's uncle explains how her father killed the complete own circle of relatives, after which took his very own existence. He says the person became beneath mammoth economic stress. However, something approximately it does not take a seat down proper with Ree. He tells Finch that the whole lot feels greater like a expert hit, now no longer a murder suicide. He believes the police neglected something crucial. However, the large query stays that in which is Teresa. Finch shows they inspect Teresa's Aunt Elizabeth. There may be an opportunity Teresa might also additionally have long passed to her, so Ree heads off to discover her and find greater approximately what sincerely took place. Finch visits Teresa's aunt pretending to be from an insurance business enterprise. He learns that Teresa's frame